her recent content infuriates me. All right? I'm gonna try to stay cool while I film this, but I can't guarantee it. I think it's disgusting to get on camera in front of food portions that, by the way, as an ex-fetus model, I would have put in front of me on camera and sold to people for PPV, pay-per-view sales. To do that on a mainstream platform where anyone of any age can watch that fucking video and eat to your heart's content, what I can guarantee you is feeder fodder, while talking about neutralizing food and binge eating disorder, is disgusting. So, either tear anybody down or whatever, but there is a certain person who's been making content recently that I have a very serious problem with, and I'm talking about Foodie Beauty. I'm gonna do my best to not mention the other person that's really synonymous in girl world with this person, because at the end of the day, when you compare Amber and Chantel, they have their issues, obviously, but Foodie's on another level. Foodie's a bigot, documented animal abuser. You can't deny the facts, and what she's doing right now actually ended up impacting me directly, and I'm going to talk about it. And then I'm going to talk about BED, I'm going to talk about my experience, I'm going to talk about myself, because at the end of the day, I can't really talk about this topic without conflating it to my own personal lived experience. So if that's not for you, if you don't know who this person is, listen, I'm going to recommend, you don't need judicial research, you don't need to know much more about this person other than what I just said, that they suck, and they're really a danger to the platform of YouTube in their behavior. I'm not going to sit here and comment on their looks, I'm not going to sit here and comment on her body, I'm not going to sit here and comment on a lot of her life choices, because that's not the point of this video. I have a lot of opinions about it, and in the future I may or may not speak on them in other avenues, but I don't really want that to be the focus of my channel. But Chantel, for those of you who don't know who she is a Canadian YouTuber who has a long-seated history online of being extremely problematic for attention, of trying to be a weight loss channel, but then also being a mukbanger, things like that, and has had some really triggering, painful, awful content the past couple of years. I'm going to put trigger warnings up now. We'll be talking about eating disorders, sensitive topics. I may or may not correlate some of my own traumas in this conversation, because honestly, I'm talking off the cuff here. I didn't write any notes. All I did was re-Google the definition of binge eating disorder, just so it was fresh in my head. A bit about me and my background with that is I was diagnosed with this disorder in 2017. I believe I developed it at the age of 9 years old. I won't go too into detail, but I definitely, as a child, had a much more extreme version of the disorder than I did in my adulthood years. And I don't even know if any are covered under my specific insurance, but I need a specific type of help. And I found someone who's certified, who would be a great fit for me. We interviewed, did the whole shebang, because I need additional help, which is why you're not seeing me giving a bunch of fucking eating advice on YouTube now, because I haven't done the fucking work. But I've done more work than she has. So, just boils my blood, dude. So for her to be getting on camera and monetizing her video and getting clicks for having salacious amounts of mukbang food while being like, I'm not binging, I'm 5 days binge free. One thing she's not wrong about is that there is a difference between overeating and binge eating. That's true. And I do see a lot of the commentary that's been going on online is also people who are misinformed on what a binge is. Because a binge is eating an excessive amount of food in a short period of time. And maybe she is overeating on camera only, and maybe she really is not binging off camera after the fact. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the harm her current content is doing. It doesn't change the fact that she made a video about neutralizing Taco Bell, like neutralizing food while eating Taco Bell. And I actually was curious, and I did the little Googles, and double checked, there's a website called Deliveroo in Kuwait that's kind of like, I guess, DoorDash, and they had pictures of all the food, and it looks like their Taco Bell is actually different, and that it was one order of the quesadilla and one order of the potatoes. So yeah, cool, fine, whatever. But you're sitting there eating that food, talking about neutralizing food, and then you go to the next fucking video, and it's a binge. Eating large amounts of one thing, eating 3 rolls of sushi is a binge. You just you can't sit there and tell me that that's not a fucking binge. You can't, because had you had 1 roll of sushi and an edamame and maybe even another side, then that's a meal. That's a meal. Eating a crazy, not even a crazy, well, I think 3 rolls of sushi. I am full after a roll of sushi. I'm full after a roll of sushi. I don't even like sushi that much, but it's filling. For you to sit there and be like, sushi's not that filling. I see it as a reflection of my own self-delusions that I've had within my own eating disorder. It's the self-delusions, the self-justifications. I've lived it. I know it. I've experienced it. And I have compassion for it. I really do. I lack compassion for Foodie Beauty for many other reasons. But for her to go from that to the sushi to the Chinese food, it's all a ploy for money. It's transparent as fuck. And it's disheartening. And I can guarantee you, I'm about to be taking a big step back from watching any kind of content related to her again. I regret doing it. I was doing it to support someone that supported me and that I liked. Sarah, I think she's a great person, and I think she's doing these reactions for the right reasons. That's to educate people about what this person is doing. And just because she's off in another country and living this fake life or whatever, and just, I don't want to get into the drama of her life, I really don't. But it's kind of hard not to, because it really gives background on why this is so insidious and wrong. And at the end of the fucking day, Chantel, if you're watching this, who knows, you might not. Chantel, whether you are overeating unhealthy food on camera or binging it on camera, at the end of the fucking day, it doesn't really change your impact of the viewer. And I know you don't really give a shit about people outside of your own perspective, it's well documented that that's who you are as a human being. It's the truth. And I'm trying to have this conversation in a way that's less, maybe not isolating, but I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Less, like pushing you away from being, I guess, adversarial. But dude, your content actively hurt me. I can say that for a fact. It actively hurt me. I was laying in bed last night, and I won. I didn't binge, but I fucking wanted to. Watching you make these decisions and act this way and eat the way that you've been eating actively triggered me. It actually really, really fucked me up a little bit. The past few years, I feel that I personally am not as frequent of a binger, but I still struggle with restriction and overeating and things like that. But I do, you know, the last time I craved a binge was last night, and it was in direct correlation to watching someone react to Chantel's content. Look, I'm not perfect. I have literally monetized my eating disorder. In my not so recent history, I have left. In my own right, I burned my bridges in those communities because I never want to go back. I never want to do that shit again. And I don't even demonize feederism, but what pisses me off so much about what she's doing is she's pretending that it isn't that, and even a step above that, that she's doing some type of treatment, spreading dangerous misinformation and lies to people regarding what treatment for BED could look like. Because I've done the intuitive eating disorder clinic stuff. I've learned about it. It's been many years, and frankly, I need a refresher. I'm doing other treatments right now for other things that are not directly related to my eating disorder, frankly, because of access to time and resources. As I've discussed in the past, I'm currently on short-term disability, and now I have to move. Originally, I was going to hire an ADHD specialized nutritionist. Had her hired. Next day, I found out I had to move in a relatively shorter time frame than, I expected. And I've not really been one to keep up with reactions regarding her. As I mentioned in the past, I'm a Zachary Michael fan, so I know bits and pieces about her through that, as well as I would occasionally watch recaps that didn't involve her voice or her face because, frankly, they pissed me off. Because I don't fuck with bigots. Period. Period. And so, just to kind of like keep tabs on what was going on. Because, look, I'm a little nosy, all right? I just am. So that was part of that for me. But I've never given her channel a view in my life, and I never will. And I don't think anyone should either. You know, I can already hear the, well, then don't watch. Yeah. I wish I had stayed that way. I wish she didn't have a platform. Personally, I think the best way of handling her is for people to stop reacting to her, and make her truly irrelevant, because she's infamous. She's not YouTube famous. She's infamous.
Fupa, fat upper pubic area. Chubby. It's chubby. Do you have a chubby kitty? Mine's like lopsided.